Alrighty. Hello, hello. I am aLex Levin, and welcome to this weekly offering from my space here, my house to you. And again, as I just mentioned, this is Kurt. We're here with the Sun and Moon Yoga Studio community, which has some brick and mortar locations in Northern Virginia um, and also virtual, lots of virtual opportunities. Something if you are free later this afternoon. I'm not sure what time it starts, 1 or 2-ish, Eastern Time. Marjorie Ames is doing a mini retreat. It's probably about 2 hours. If you're here, if you can attend live, it's fabulous. It's strange to think for just a short time to have a retreat like that, but it's so powerful, so very powerful. Just a note, you might see this is a window into our living room. This is a space I broadcast from is a sun. We call it a sunroom. It probably was a porch earlier, but it's got vents for heat and air conditioning, and the windows are sealed. So this was probably a more external part when the house was first built. So you can see my kitty cats on the other window in the living room. They're mesmerized by the squirrel and bird activity out there in the shrubs. So while that's sort of a tangent, it's actually not irrelevant to the theme, which I'll tell you about as once we start settling. So settle into your space, to your seat. You don't have to be perfectly still for this first part where we'll ground and I'll share the theme that will guide us, and and then we'll do some micro movement, very small movement to further bring us into the present, and then we'll be very still. We'll allow stillness for the meditation portion of this program together. Thank you for being here. So the space around, let's start with that again. Usually I start with ground, the tangible feeling of the earth, of the solid parts of us, or I start with breath. But I think recently I've sometimes been, and today, as I was telling you, what's around you, what you see to behind me, the movement of the cat's tails, and a word that's a great portal for this, as you might close your eyes and fully arrive, is sound. Sound. So we begin to listen, and that brings us what's around us coming, whether it's from near or farther. Sound travels from outside us, around us, through these wonderful sense organs, the ears, sometimes even through our skin. We feel the vibration of sound. Or don't you sometimes feel there's some sounds you almost feel in your teeth? And something about that word listen brings us right here. And now we can blend in this feeling of our body that I've included through the ears, through the teeth, and the whole, every cell of you, and the scalp, and the shoulders, and the rib cage, and the skin, and the belly, and the bones. Can really feel a lot in our bones. A sort of knowing. And our bones, I don't know, there probably is some association with the navigation we know through our eyes, through our ears, the sense of balance, and our bones, and the nervous system sense of where we are in space, how we're moving in space. So through this body, feeling, so I've gone through all these parts that are probably not the parts that are touching, except skin and clothes, that are touching ground, but now feeling especially to those parts, whether you're lying down, maybe it's part of your back or your side. Sitting, it'll be your hips, pelvis. There's a cushion touching my lower back, the couch underneath my feet and legs. How are you receiving these, these supports from underneath? And all of this is happening in a grid of gravity, this invisible but very much known, easily to know force. Perhaps as we're scanning like this through the listening, through the grounding, that you're scanning for, it's inevitable that we're observing the landscape of our body, the outer and inner landscape, and we can start to feel what arises, that where we are maybe holding tension in the neck or in the forehead and eyes, sometimes even the hands or feet, on the belly. And let that go. The moment you see that you're holding it, and we kind of know it's not needed in the moment, and it's easy to let go. And so perhaps you're sensing what we've done so far, and now folding in the breath is we're integrating while we're trying to trying to welcome just what's here, to welcome presence, to be right here. There's so much we're integrating: the space, gravity, body, support underneath, tension, relaxation. Now breath. And note for yourself, maybe in words or maybe just in the feel of it, the sensory and emotional and psychological experience that you're feeling just now. Knowing. So I'm beginning to memorize another poem. It's called Lakota Prayer. And I probably fumble. I think it begins something like, teach me to trust my heart, my mind, my intuition, the senses of my body, and the blessings of spirit, something like that at the beginning. And I'm realizing how beautiful this is, what a beautiful invitation and a beautiful intention to welcome all these ways that we perceive, as there's the tendency to rely on some and not others. We have various biases of our habits and instinct. And when we can take this time together to sit still, to invite stillness, move towards stillness. And these additional invitations to open to what we don't know yet, open to what's uncertain. What an edge, what an adventure. And find out for yourself, but I posit perhaps what freedom and what opening to the path, to the unique path of each of our souls, our beings, the offering that we are here to give. And in some ways, for many of us, for most of us, it's blocked by various wounds and patterns of managing, which have served us. So recently, a friend shared some specific practices. She's in a course of study, and she wasn't so sure of the validity of these practices. And she had a reaction that was irritation, huge irritation. And then she realizes, this practice is designed to bring up things like that. So I would say, and check into your experience, but I've had some recent, I know that I also have this feeling like, oh, I'll solve this one day, but it seems like we get more and more opportunities to find, to open to irritations that arise in myself. And it feels so interesting. At first, I hate them. I want to push them away. I don't want that feeling. I don't want to be that person. And then I've started realizing, oh, I could watch this. What's happening here? Where is it coming from? Or even before that, to remember to just let it sit with me. And there takes a certain courage, a certain readiness, a certain groundedness, a certain strength to even come to that point. And that is what this practice is allowing us to do. And to see those, to loop back to what it allows us, is freedom and the possibility of letting go of that which a tool that isn't helpful anymore, but that can spring us into the next action, um, the next work we have, the next creativity, the next possibility, the next adventure. And so, looping even back further to my main theme today, none of this is possible with just our mind, just our heart, just our spirit, just our community, just our individuality. It takes all of it, all of those. And again, that's what we're doing here together, alone and together. So, I'm gonna have a sip of my tea. And let's take a movement today that's a little mudra, moving mudra. Mudra is a gesture, a seal like a circuit of, we'll touch index finger tip and thumb tip together, and then to the next thumb to tip of middle finger, thumb to tip of ring finger to pinky, And let's pair that with inhale to the index finger tip. At the pause, be at the middle fingertip with the thumb tip. And exhale at the ring fingertip. And pause after the exhale at the pinky. And I'm lifting my hand so you can see it, but you can just have your hand resting on your lap. You could use it raised like this. It adds a different dimension if you like, or try both of them for a couple breaths up and a couple breaths down. So let's take a few moments to do this simple, simple movement. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Maybe about 4 more breaths like this. And you could have chosen either hand. Relaxing more and more and sensing when we're moving our hand and fingertips, how the connection moves through the arm, through into the heart, maybe into the breath, into the breathing spaces of the core, to the pelvis, legs and feet, to the whole of yourself within your skin. And then stop the movement, relax your hand, relax your forehead, relax your around the collarbones and shoulders. Relax through the center of your torso and the diaphragm and belly. Relax the low back and hip joints. Relax through the bones of your legs, upper, lower, and ankles and feet. And perhaps you're ready to just segue right into the stillness of meditation, the seated stillness or the laying down stillness, or like me, maybe you want to just adjust a little bit. And we'll take roughly a 8 or 9 minute meditation. Offering great forgiveness when you feel you're failing, drifting. And proceeding with the anticipation that joy might also join us in this journey. So as we start, I'm going to recite The poem I've been working with for you, the the poem Lost by David Wagoner. Stand still. The trees ahead and the bushes beside you are not lost. Wherever you are is called here, and you must treat it as a powerful stranger. You must ask permission to know it and be known. The forest breathes. Listen, it answers. I have made this place around you, and if you leave it, you may come back, saying, here. No two trees are the same to raven, no two branches are the same to wren. And if you do not know, what trees and branches and bushes do, then surely you are lost. Stand still. The forest knows where you are. You must let it find you. Perhaps relaxing a little more the inner spaces of the mouth, throat, deep in the belly. And if something irritating, distracting comes up, and we imagine that we could, as if to slow down time, freeze to just see what it is, before judgment, before action, before remediation of any kind. just to be with it, witness it, witness and be with. And in all of this, in welcoming all the different parts of our experience, stepping back or noticing the one who is the knower of all this, who is prior to all thought, form, manifestation, change, emotion, the face before you were born. Couple more breaths together. And just for a moment, before we bow, lingering in this moment of the formal end of this meditation practice, and as if making note just how it is, as if being that observer from prior to all, which we all are. That's the essence of us. That who sees, knows all. That powerful stranger. And thank you for joining me. I wish you a week of many joyful moments and many more courageous moments, more moments of knowing your own strength and capacity to open to integration of to parts unknown, parts not traveled hitherto, and and to feel the adventure of that. Thanks so much for joining us, and again, check out our website, sunandmoonstudio.com, for what's happening. Thank you, Mary Beth, for being here. Here's a little glimpse of Rock sleeping there. He was gnawing at himself part of the time. And I'll see you next week. Thank you all who come to watch later. And contact me at aLex@sunandmoonstudio.com. I would love to hear from you, how things are going, and especially about your practice or what questions you have or what challenges and what maybe that I could address if there's an interest in that. Maybe what we're doing is just enough. Enjoy. Ciao.